Hello everyone, Danielle here with Two Sisters Reese and More. I thought I'd get on and just share my story, my chicken story with you. Why I got chickens, how I got chickens, all of the good things. So, about 2 years ago in 2022, like most of us, I was noticing a rise in chicken eggs at the grocery store, and how expensive everything was. And so one day I got this wild hair that I was going to get chickens. And I actually talked to my neighbor about it, and she was like, you know what? Funny thing is, I was thinking the exact same thing. So her and I both did some research. I think I did a little bit more than she did. I really wanted to make sure that this was something that I wanted to do. I looked into some city codes. I was asking neighbors that I have that have chickens, asking them about pros and cons. I got online and I was researching different breeds, what kind of breeds I would want to have, so that I knew for sure this is something that I wanted to do. So I finally decided I was going to get some, and I went to IFA, and I obviously had some breeds in mind that I wanted, but I was gonna obviously have to purchase what was available at IFA. They had several breeds that I was able to choose from. So I initially went with 5 chickens, and my neighbor bought 3. So we had a total of 8 chickens. And we currently have 8 with 3 chicks. So initially we had the 5 and the 3, got 3 more last year, and we have a pretty good variety. And on another video I will probably introduce the different breeds that I have. We have lost a few chickens since then. That is part of, unfortunately, owning any sort of pet. We had one of our original chickens ended up being a rooster, and within our city limits, I live in a smaller, well, maybe it's not small, a fairly decent sized town, I guess I should say, in northern Utah. And here in my city, you cannot have a rooster unless you have more than an acre of property. So one of our chickens ended up being a rooster, and so said rooster got taken somewhere else. So I think it's really important to make sure you're doing your research, knowing, pros and cons to things, and obviously having chickens is going to be a learning curve. So that's a little bit of my backstory of why I got chickens, just because I wanted to be able to have a fun pet that would also give me eggs. They are a fun way to get the kids to help in chores, to get them to understand where our food comes from, and it gives a sense of responsibility for something. And I think it's just fun to know that I've raised this animal and it gives me something in return, and plus the eggs are just beautiful. So after we decided to get our chickens, I had them just in a container in my garage, and then we ended up getting a box from a friend, and my husband converted it into just like a little coop, I guess you could say. But we knew we were gonna need something bigger and better. So my dad likes to build things, and so after doing a lot of research and looking at things online, we didn't like what we were seeing quality wise of chicken coops, and so we decided that really the best way to go was to have us build our own. So my wonderful father built us a chicken coop, so I thought I would kind of show you the chicken. So here's our chicken coop, just to give you a little background on my house. My backyard is nothing special. Obviously this is just something that we decided to do. This is how my dad and I came up with a plan to how to make our own chicken coop. I do think building your own is a great way to go, but you do how you feel like will work for you, what will work for the size of yard you have. So my house sits on 0.24 acres. It's a decent sized yard here in northern Utah, but it's nothing special. It's definitely a yard that's has worn and torn. It's got kids that play in it. It's nothing special. So anyways, here's my coop. So we have the initial coop part here. This window can open, so that will offer in the summertime ventilation. This wood part up top also comes off. This is just a board right up here that we can take off to allow more airflow into the coop. And then this part is our nesting boxes so that we can come in here, easily have access to our chickens. Their eggs, we actually have 4 nesting boxes. I need to collect my eggs today. We have 4 nesting boxes, but the funny thing I think about our chickens is they tend to pick just 1 or 2 boxes that they like. So that's the coop part on the outside. He made this nice big door. You can tell it's only a couple years old, but you can tell the wear and tear it has already received from the wind and from the sun and the snow, the rain, even though we painted it. So we have this nice big door on here so we can easily come in here and clean up. And as you can probably see, I need to do another cleanup. So I initially had their food container hanging inside of their run the first year that I had it, and then quickly realized as fall was coming that it was getting very wet, and so I brought it inside here. So make sure everything is predator proof. We have the wiring in front of the window because we did have the screen on the window break, and so that obviously concerned me about predators. Same with up in here, just to be on the safe side. So when that board comes down in the summertime, we do get raccoons here, and so that way the raccoons can't climb up and get into my chicken coop. There's my Easter egger. And then we have just some roosting boards here. Again, very dirty, they need to be cleaned. But this big door is very handy for us to be able to come in here and to clean this. I can also take that board off on the side if I want to. And as you can see on this side, if you can see it, that remains open for airflow. So, and then we made this door if we wanted to, if it was a really bad storm, we could come in here. We have a wire that goes up here and we can close this door. So there's the inside of the coop. I wanted to make sure the chickens had a decent size run, so we wanted to have the coop up high. Let me get this closed. The coop up high, and then a run that ran all the way underneath. Real quick, I just keep all my feed in this bin, which is very handy. Always make sure it's nice and closed tight. So here is this. Right now it is winterproofed. My first 2 years I did not have it winterproofed at all. Last year we had a huge snowstorm and my run was a complete soggy mess. They had so much snow and then it melted and it was so mucky and gross inside. So this past fall I decided I was going to winterproof it. So we had a tarp in the garage, placed a tarp on top, and I just have a thin board up on top just to, you know, give it some extra stability. And then I just bought these shower curtains from Walmart. I think we used 3 or 4 of them and simply just poked a hole in them, tied them on. They are starting to come off, as you can see, since they've been on since about October now. With the wind and whatnot, some of the strings have broke, but I will end up taking these off in the next month or so. But I think I might leave the tarp on top so that when we do get that spring rain or the occasional summer rainstorm, it won't get so watery and wet in here. So here's our little latch. We have extra measures that we can put this on here, double lock it if we need to. My kids are pretty good about not coming in here. No, don't come out. So inside here we just have obviously our little ladder for the chickens to go into the coop. Water, I have a little hanging basket that I can put my veggies and stuff so it doesn't get on the ground and they can peck at the veggies. And then we have our dust bath and just a roosting stick for them to sit on. So as you can see, most things are made out of 4x4 posts, 2x2s. This thing is very much secured into the ground. I just don't see that we would ever be able to move this structure. It is very heavy. We also have the wiring that goes across the top. Again, predator proof. Really make sure that wherever you are, you know what predators are in your area. We get hawks around here as well. I've never had an issue with hawks. Tempting to get my chickens. I think it helps that I have some big trees in my yard because I do allow my chickens to come out and free range in my yard at times. So that's always a concern, but I've never had that problem. So make sure that you are always aware of what predators are in your area. So far I've been lucky to not lose anybody to any predator. So there is the inside of my coop. Thank you for coming with me today and watching my video. I hope that if you are questioning whether or not you can have chickens in your backyard, this will be a video that will kind of help you get some ideas. Remember to always do your research, ask around, talk to your neighbors, see, you know, what your city says. There are city limits usually. Obviously, it's up to you if you follow those or not. There are lots of people here where I live that do have chickens, and I know a lot of people who choose to and choose not to follow the city guidelines. And then obviously for me too, I made sure that my neighbors were okay with me having chickens. A lot of them enjoy it. They enjoy hearing the sounds of the chickens. It's my little farm oasis, I guess, of being in the city. So I hope you will continue to follow our channel as I post more things about being a new backyard chicken owner. I'm still learning, and again, anything that I do say is my personal experience, my personal opinion of me being a new chicken mom.